Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we sometimes find companies clinging to the Nasdaq like a barnacle to a ship hull. Get ready for a wild ride as we break down Cambium Networks Corporation's latest filing where they're fighting to stay listed before we dive in. If you like getting straight answers and understanding what these corporate filings really mean, make sure you're subscribed. And if you want to join a community of fellow investors and decipher these documents together, check out our Discord, linked in the description below. Alright, so imagine you're running a company and the stock market is giving you a serious side eye. That's kind of the situation Cambium Networks, or Cambium Networks Incorporated, finds itself in. This report is all about them trying to convince Nasdaq, that fancy stock exchange, that they're still worth keeping around. This isn't your typical quarterly or annual financial report filled with numbers you can sink your teeth into. This is more like an urgent, please don't kick us out. Notice the main event here is about whether Cambium Networks can keep its ordinary shares listed on the Nasdaq global market. So the big news is they got a decision letter from the Nasdaq hearings panel. Think of the hearings panel as the judges who decide if a company has met the rules to stay listed. And here is the catch. They're fighting to meet two main rules. One about the stock price staying above a certain level, and another about filing their financial reports on time. Now, this isn't the first time Nasdaq has had a chat with Cambium. They've been warned before, back in October, that they weren't meeting the minimum bid price rule, which essentially means their stock price has been too low for too long. Plus, they've also bungled the filing rule, meaning they haven't been sending in their financial reports, like their annual report for 2024 and quarterly reports for 2025, when they were supposed to missing those filings is a big deal for any public company, and it gets worse. They got another notification in November because they couldn't even get their September 2025 quarterly report filed on time. So you have a company struggling with its stock price and constantly late with its official financial paperwork. That is a double whammy of red flags for investors. The good news, if you can call it that, is that Cambium Networks Corporation says they plan to catch up on all those late filings. They've got a deadline, the 16th of April 2026, which is quite a bit of time to get their act together. If they can file everything correctly and get their stock price up, they can avoid being delisted. On the stock price front, it looks like they've had a little bit of a win. They managed to keep their stock price at $1 or more for 10 days in a row, which is the minimum requirement. However, Nasdaq is still keeping a close eye. They have a bit of a grace period until the 8th of April 2026 to make sure the stock price doesn't drop below that $1 mark again. If it does, they'll have to explain themselves to the hearings panel all over again, and they might even be put under a 1-year monitor to ensure they behave after that. So, to recap, Cambium Networks Corporation got a conditional pass. They get to stay listed on Nasdaq, but only if they can prove they are following the rules on financial filings and keeping their stock price up. It's like getting a temporary stay of execution. Now, like most of these reports, they include a section called forward-looking statements. This is basically legal jargon for we're not making any promises about the future. They're saying that their hopes and plans might not actually happen because of all sorts of risks and uncertainties. In simpler terms, they hope to fix things, but there is no guarantee. And the last bit we'll touch on are the exhibits. They've attached a press release from the 5th of December that talks about this good news, or at least the news that they're still in the game. This and some digital formatting stuff are the included documents. Now, looking at Cambium Networks Corporation here, it's clear they're in a precarious position. They're facing significant listing requirements and they've been struggling to meet them with their late filings and unstable stock price. The fact that they had to go through a formal hearing to keep their listing tells you how serious the situation is. The company's ability to regain compliance hinges entirely on executing their plan to file all the missing reports and maintaining a stock price above the $1 mark. The prolonged period of missed filings suggests internal operational issues or significant challenges in preparing accurate and timely financial statements, which is a major concern for transparency and investor confidence. While they've shown a brief period of meeting the minimum bid price, the Nasdaq's decision to keep them under watch until April 2026 indicates they are not completely out of the woods. The risk here is that any slip up, either with future filings or another dip in stock price, could lead to immediate delisting, which would severely impact liquidity and the company's ability to access capital. On the flip side, if they successfully navigate these challenges, they might emerge a more disciplined and transparent organization. However, the immediate future looks uncertain and hinges on successful execution of their remediation plan. Alright, that is our breakdown of Cambium Networks Corporation's latest filing. What is your take on their fight to stay listed and what these numbers signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments below if this analysis was valuable. Hitting that like button really helps us out, and subscribe for more deep dives into corporate filings. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description for more insights and discussions. Thanks for watching. See you next time.